Hi, this is Mark from Productive Computing, and I wanted to share with you today an interesting offering from FileMaker Incorporated. It comes by way of their FileMaker Custom App Academy, and they are offering a CRM, and they are offering also an orders file system. But today we'd like to talk about the CRM and compare this free solution from FileMaker with a paid commercial solution from Productive Computing, such as the Core4 or the Core5. Stay tuned. Okay, let's begin. I want to show you how to get to the site that we're talking about here at FileMaker. And I think one of the easier ways to do that is to just put in FileMaker Custom App Academy in a regular search engine, and it should show up as one of the first items. And sure enough, it did. And as of this video, this is what the page looks like, and here's what's being offered. You can see here your custom app development journey starts here. Below you see the two featured apps right now, which is a CRM app and an order management app. I'd like to focus on the CRM app, so let's open that up and see. First of all, we have a dedicated page, and we have the ability to try the sample. And you have a choice here of either downloading it with the optional trial version of FileMaker Pro Advanced, which is essentially the platform that allows these apps to be developed. And if you already have FileMaker, you can just go right to sample apps only and put in your basic information and download those for free. The files are completely unlocked and fully customizable to use however you'd like. Below on this page, you see 3 videos. We have a 3-minute video, a 4-minute video, and a 5-minute video. I don't know if that's coincidence, but that's the way they are timed out. The first video is called Planning CRM App. And this is sort of a high-level overview talking about the specific workflows and what's the spirit of the design of the CRM and how that all applies. So if you look at that, you'll get an overview of really what a CRM is and how they developed it regarding the specific workflow they were going after. The second video is how the actual CRM works itself. In other words, it's more of a tutorial, a user-based tutorial. I wouldn't say it's exhaustive and shows you every single feature, but it shows you and highlights the main features here in those 4 minutes. And then finally, a 5-minute video, which shows you a little bit under the hood of selected areas of the app that takes advantage of FileMaker 17 or higher, some features there. And looking under the hood, you can see a little bit of how those features are developed and how they came to be. It is not an exhaustive demonstration of how to build a CRM from scratch, nor does it explain step-by-step how the features came to be so that you could recreate them on your own. But it does give you a bird's eye view, and perhaps that's even better if you're just new to FileMaker and you just want to get your feet wet. This is actually a perfect way to do that and a quick way to do that. So I highly encourage you that if this is your first time with FileMaker, this CRM app is a great way to start and watch those videos and just kind of dig right in. So let's take a look at this application now that we've talked about it. Let's actually look at it. The file comes to you. It's called crm.fmp12. FMP12 is the extension given to a FileMaker file, or FileMaker app in this case. And you can see here, it's really broken up into 4 main navigational sections. There's My Dashboard, Clients, which you can think of as organizations or even businesses. Then you have Contacts, which you can think of as individuals associated with those organizations or businesses. And then finally, you have Opportunities. And then within each one of these areas, there's some detail to look at. So we'll start with the dashboard. It's really broken into 3 separate areas here. We have a welcome, and on the left-hand side, you see a listing of actual clients. And then you have a plus button here if you want to add a new client. Then in the middle at the top here, you have Open Opportunities, which is a simple listing in date order from newest to oldest of opportunities that are still currently with the status of open. And then finally down below here, you have interactions. And an interaction is essentially a touch point or an interaction with a particular customer or client or both. In fact, you can keep track of both here within these interactions. And they specify them in types such as call, on-site, email, and other. So that's a little bit about what an interaction is. So I thought I might take you on a quick journey on how to create a regular client and attach a contact with it, create an opportunity, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to create a new client name. Now this you can think of as a company, so I'll just put in Productive Computing as the company name. And I won't put in the address and all that, but I will put in a main phone number. And this is interesting because you'll see here that it auto formats the number for you. Then I can click a sales rep, and you'll see I have a pick list of sales reps, so I can do a search for Terry, and you'll see it hones in on Terry and allows me to select that sales rep using that convenient filtered drop-down list or that filtered pick list. All right, so now I've created a new company called Productive Computing, and now I can actually go to that organization or client in this case and create a new individual. So I can do that a number of ways. I can go right to the contacts and create a new contact, or I can click here and add a new contact directly from this tab. So I'll do that now. I'll put in my name. President of Productive Computing, and I can define an email if I'd like. I'll just go ahead and put a work phone. So I'll do that this way. Now, if I had a direct line, this is where I would put it. And I will go ahead and define an email. Okay, I have a quick key for that here on my computer, so I'm able to put that in there right away. So now you can see that Mark is associated with Productive Computing. And if I click on Mark right here, I'll be navigated over to the contact, and Mark will be highlighted like this. It's pretty simple how to connect contacts with clients or individuals with companies, as the case may be. Let's go and add an opportunity. So I'll create a brand new opportunity here, and I'll call it Develop Custom FileMaker Solution. All right, and then we can pick a client. So if I pick a client like Productive Computing, it then gives me the chance to pick a contact, and that contact is a derivative of Productive Computing. So it already knows that I'm linked to Productive Computing. So that means it'll link me here to the contact Mark LaRochelle. Then I can put in a price and some details and click Done. So now I've just created an opportunity for Mark at Productive Computing. And if I go back to my dashboard here, you can see that I have a Dev Custom FileMaker Solution here as one of my opportunities. And I can see that it's for $1,500 on this date, and I can click on that and zoom right to that opportunity. If I go back to the client Productive Computing, I also have a built-in dashboard if I look at the detail of that, and I can see the status of my opportunities as whether they've been won, lost, or open, which is very interesting. And actually, it's very, very clever. This is all built in directly using FileMaker's native charts. And you have 4 tabs here. You can see I have the overview, which is the dashboard into opportunities. Then I have any interactions that I've had with Productive Computing. Then I have contacts here. We already looked at that. And then opportunities, and we already looked at that. Let's do one more thing here, and then it'll conclude our demo for this particular CRM file from FileMaker. And I will add an interaction. And let's just say that today I placed a call to Productive Computing and Mark. And I can even attach an associated opportunity to this and then have that call regarding that. So I can put the details of the call here. And then I can also tag it for a follow-up. Let's just say I want to contact again in 1 week's time, or just slightly less than a week, on July 20th. I can do that. And then if it was complete, I can click Follow-up Complete. So there's some basic CRM functionality there happening with those interactions. And now when I go to my dashboard, I can see the interactions listed here, the details of the call here under Productive Computing, and I can go and look at that interactions detail just by clicking on it here from the dashboard. I can follow up complete like so. Let's take one last look at the opportunity. Here's the opportunity we were looking at. I just wanted to highlight one last thing here where there's a status. You have open, won, or lost, and it automatically fills in these close dates based on the status. I can also attach attachments like so, and it's not just one attachment but unlimited. So I can put in some notes if I took some notes and have that as a supporting document. But if I wanted to create another attachment, no problem. I can do that. And this time I'll put in an untitled file. There, now I have 2 attachments associated with that opportunity. So this is a great starting CRM from FileMaker, completely unlocked, completely open. Let's take a quick look under the hood for the developers out there. Here we have 9 tables: attachment, client, contact, email, interaction, opportunity, phone, sales rep, and resource. It's important to note that the sales reps are a separate table, which I think is handy. We also have a separate table for phones and emails, which I think is also good design. And then 2 separate tables for client and contact. And that is a good design for what this particular purpose is. I think that works out well. And then unlimited attachments and unlimited interactions. So that's good. And then if we take a quick look at the relationships here, it's certainly much more verbose than just a simple sample file from FileMaker. This is more of a starting solution. So there's a decent amount of table occurrences and relationships happening, but not so overwhelming that you can't get your head around it. And then if you look here at this top right gearbox, you'll see there's an option to adjust or add sales reps. I can add a new sales rep, or I can check for sales rep here by doing that and then filling in some basic detail. There's also the ability to set up this account and security. So there is some basic user settings and for Fred. And when I click on Setup Account and Security, we see the account setup is complete. The password is also the account name and must also be changed on first login. If I look under the hood now and look at the security, I can see that Fred, or Fred was the account name in this case, is set up as a sales rep and has the ability now to log into the system. And on the next login, they will be challenged for a password. So getting under the hood to adjust things, it couldn't be easier. You simply go into layout mode, move things around. If you want to add your own buttons, you can do that here. And you can quickly produce a custom dialog like so. Of course, this is a button. And now I've got a test button that says, "Hi there." So you get an idea of how easy it is to program in FileMaker. Now this can get a lot more elaborate, of course, but it's nice to know that you can start with a solution like this and get under the hood and make your own changes. And that's the whole idea of FileMaker and this whole customization. So I thought we'd take a moment and recap the feature set of the existing FileMaker CRM that we just looked at as a baseline, so we can compare this with the other commercially available CRMs from Productive Computing. So the basic CRM from FileMaker has a simplified dashboard, which looks into opportunities. It has clients, which we know as companies, and contacts, which we can also consider individuals. It has a basic opportunities module, which provides for attachments and sales reps. It also has a module called interactions, which includes things like call, on-site appointments, email, and other. This is compatible with FileMaker Pro Advanced as well as FileMaker Go. Okay, next we have the Core5 CRM Starter Edition. This Core5 was created specifically to get you jump-started into integrating with QuickBooks accounting. That's either for the desktop version of QuickBooks or the online version of QuickBooks. Let me just go through the features here and then it'll be a little more clear of what this is. We do have an advanced dashboard. We do have a contacts module, which is actually quite simple. We kept it simple on purpose so that people who purchase the Core5 will have a good understanding of how to interact with contacts without building in a lot of complexity. We also have a module that can contain estimates, orders, or invoices. You just simply categorize it as one of those items and it behaves appropriately. Within that, we have items. So in order to have an estimate, an order, or an invoice, you actually have to have line items. So there's a module for items. And it includes a tax table, which is important when you push items to QuickBooks. You'll need to know a little bit about taxes along with that. And then we have documents. We also have interactions, which we call activities, and those include to-dos and appointments. And then within the invoice system, you can push that to QuickBooks Desktop, QuickBooks Online, which I already mentioned. You can save it as a PDF and you can email that PDF. This is compatible with FileMaker Pro Advanced. It's also compatible with FileMaker Go, and perhaps most exciting, it's compatible with FileMaker WebDirect. So it gives you a lot of nice deployment options. All right, now let's take a look at our Core4 CRM. Now I know it's Core4, you might think that it's less than Core5, but it actually is the most robust core we've ever created. It is the 4th generation of the Core, and it comes complete with a ton of features and modules. It is considered more of a complete full-featured CRM that can go head-to-head with other CRMs like Salesforce or Act or Daylight on the Macintosh. So let's take a look at some of the modules here in the Core4 so you can get an idea of what it is. We do have an advanced dashboard that comes with charts and graphs. We do have contacts and unlimited linking within those contacts. So you can have a company linked to an individual. You can have a company linked to multiple individuals. You can have an individual linked to a company. You can have an individual linked to multiple companies. So it also offers many-to-many. So in the example of, let's say you have a freelance person who is an individual, that person can actually be linked to multiple companies. So it handles just about any kind of organizational structure you have within your contacts paradigm, and the Core4 especially shines on those types of situations. Then we have a full-fledged opportunities module, which comes complete with a lot of fields and things that will support opportunities. We also have a nice estimates module. And the neat thing about estimates is you can just click one button and that estimate turns into an order. Then you can fulfill that order. And then another button clicks to create an invoice from that order. And then all 3 of those estimate orders and invoices contain items, much like the Core5, and a tax table, much like the Core5. Then we have a POs module. We also have a projects module, which can be used any way you'd like, whether you want to keep track of an internal project or you want to keep track of a project on behalf of a customer. We do have a projects module to get you started with that. We also have a calendar, which links directly to the activities table, but it is a month view, week view, and day view calendar. We also have a timers module, which is especially important if you want to keep track of how much time has been allocated or used on a particular project line item. So that's where the timers come into play. We also have a documents module, which comes complete with quite a few fields. You can check documents in and out, and you can keep track of a lot of metadata within those document areas. Then we have a push to Outlook capability. It does require our Outlook manipulator plugin, but we do have the capability of pushing a contact directly to Outlook. We also have the ability to push a task or a calendar event to Outlook. We also have the ability to push contacts to Mac OS contacts on your Macintosh. You can push to QuickBooks Desktop, either through the contacts module or the invoice module. You can save as a PDF and email those PDFs out. And then we also have interactions, or what we call activities, and that includes notes, events, tasks, email, and calls. So let's take a look at some other features here. We have unlimited internet address types. What does that mean? It means that if you have a contact and you want to keep track of their LinkedIn address or their Facebook profile or their Twitter account, you can put all of that information in there as far as the URL goes, and you can have those individuals and keep track of those extra things that we like to keep track of people, but don't always have a place to put it. So the Core4 comes complete with all those neat features. And then there's a one-click button where you can click on the URL and it actually goes to those accounts, whether it be Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and what have you. We also have comprehensive fields in each module. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of modules here, but there's a lot of fields within each module. Each module is built out quite a bit to include most of the common needs that people would normally have. So we have the ability to record referrals. So if you're keeping track of contacts and you want to link that contact to another contact that referred you to that person, you can keep track of that in the core. We have a batch import capability. So if you had a spreadsheet or something that you wanted to import into the core, there is a basic batch import process to do that. We have the ability to export individuals as a vCard. We can have there's a duplicate compare process where you can have the Core4 search through your duplicates and do a basic rudimentary duplicate find, and you can do some basic editing to remove or edit those duplicates. We do have a few reports sprinkled throughout the various modules. I wouldn't say they're complete and comprehensive to the nth degree. They're more like starting reports and just some samples. There's a few reports in accounting, like an aging report and things like that. Then we have a lot more features here which aren't included on this slide, but I'll show you just to give you an idea. We have a Core4 comparison that you can look at. Okay, so if you visit www.core4crm.com, you'll see there a comparison chart where we take the Core4 and compare that against other popular databases or CRMs such as Salesforce, Act, and Daylight. and just have a look at some of those options and features that we provide. Some of these features are things that we program specifically in the Core4. Others are things that come on behalf of just the great FileMaker platform. FileMaker comes with so many features out of the box for developers or even non-developers alike. Things like creating a PDF on the fly or exporting to Excel, or other things like making a chart or a graph right there within the database. All of that comes included in FileMaker. And with some basic knowledge of FileMaker and some investment in your skills, you'll be able to actually modify some of the things that you see either in the Core4 or in the Core5 or any FileMaker file or app that you happen to be using. So I hope that this information is helpful for you. I hope that you explore more on FileMaker CRMs and take a look at what options you have available to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us here at Productive Computing. You can send an email to sales@productivecomputing.com and feel free to ask any questions. Feel free to leave comments below this video, and good luck on your discovery of FileMaker CRMs.